I am Felipe,
And I am Renee. We are fortunate enough to live in Canada.
and like us, there are many others who are still waiting to be heard.
This is a space for all of us to share our experiences, our ideas, and our victories.
This is our podcast.
Hello there, people. Welcome back to this podcast that we received very, very positive comments and reviews from our first episode. So, what's happening now is that we decided to change our name, go from our Path podcast to our International Path, still a podcast. And mostly because we saw that we could do more and our name could tell people more about what we're doing here. So yeah, we just want to reflect the essence of the podcast, right, Felipe?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I
yep.
think that we can go further, like talk with more people from more countries, stuff like that. So yeah, I think that international path, it's like the way to go.
Yeah. So based on the comments we got on our last episode, we decided to make the episodes a little shorter. Instead of like an hour long, we're gonna try to get like 45 to 50 minutes long. I hope you enjoyed this, guys, because we really want to do something that we like and you like. So yeah, um, and something that a lot of people have been asking us, not only in the podcast area, but like in our personal lives, like friends, mostly from our country, from Mexico,
Yeah.
is how can we get to Canada? Like you already told us what you did, but what can I do now? Like I'm a university student or I'm working. Like what can I do today? So Felipe, what do you think about this?
So I think that first of all, you need to really consider why you want to come here. Like if it's like don't come here if you're only coming because of a friend it's here, or I don't know, like you need to check like your possibilities. Like if the career that you want or the work that you have it's good in Mexico or in your country, I think that it's better to stay there. Um, but if not, like I think that when you're thinking about coming here, it's like it's easy. Like you can do it by yourself, like just entering to the immigration website and checking the forms, what do you need and everything. But yeah, it's I think that it's a very personal decision. Like you should really know that you want to be here, especially if you're. I can only speak as an international student, right? Like not as a worker because I'm not in that position. Like I didn't have to make that decision. But if you're a student and I don't know, you want to make your university here just as me, I think that you need to consider like the possibilities that you have in your country, and also you need to ask your parents like their economical status,
Yeah.
because you don't want to be poor here, you know, like
Yeah.
you should be able to pay for any emergency food, stuff like that, right? Like
Yeah.
you don't want to be homeless
Yeah,
or
pretty much. Yeah, because I remember you told me a while ago about this kid who was in your program,
yeah,
but he was working full time because he couldn't afford college.
yeah,
But he
exactly.
wouldn't go to college because he was working, right?
Yeah, he used to go like once a week. So yeah, like his idea was like, oh, I can work full time and pay my tuition. But the problem of doing that is that you are paying for your tuition, but you are not going to classes, right?
Yeah.
So what happened here in Canada? Uh, if you fail one semester, like if you have to restart the semester, you can't apply anymore for the work permit. So everything that you fight for, it's worthless at this point. You have to go back to your country. Well, like you can't be here legally. Like
Yeah.
some people stay here illegally, but that's not the goal.
Yeah, I was doing some research about this, and I found this comment. I think it was like in a forum, like something wiki something, and they were saying that you don't want to do that because if you stay illegally, the government of Canada is going to fine you, and then they're going to send you to jail, and then they're going to send you to a trial, and then they're going to send you back to jail, then they're going to escort you to the airport, and they're going to kick you out of the country. Like, I don't know how
Yeah.
true is that. I don't know if
I
that's
mean,
how it actually works, but it's
I think that it's easy. Like, I know some people that are here illegally. They, like, it's difficult for them to find them. But like when you want to apply for benefits, like you can't buy a home, right?
mhm.
And I don't know if you have a good study, like if you went to university and graduated, you can't apply for those kind of jobs because they require you to have a visa, a
Mhm.
work permit, or a PR. So it makes no sense to stay here. Like you are gonna be stuck in general labor.
Yeah. And PR is the permanent residency.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're like, the way I would describe it is you're a Canadian inside Canada. Like you have healthcare and pretty much
Yeah,
everything,
you're an
right?
immigrant, a
Yeah, but
legal immigrant.
you cannot vote. That's the difference between like a citizen and a
Yeah.
permanent resident.
Yeah, and you have all the rights and everything
Yeah.
except
And
voting.
yeah, you don't have the passport or you cannot vote. That's the main difference between a citizen and a resident. So when, for example, when I leave Canada, I can only use my Mexican passport. So that's the biggest difference between a resident and a citizen.
Yeah. But yeah, like everyone can do it. Like everyone can come here to Canada if legally. But yeah, like you need to consider, like you need to check all those aspects.
Yeah.
If you are mentally prepared, like for example, in my case, I came here alone, right? And I had to prepare myself like to be alone, like without friends for a while. I fortunately
You
was
make
able to
friends.
make
Yeah.
friends, but some people are way shyer than me, right? Like I'm a shy person, but there are people that are way more shy than me.
Yeah.
So yeah, like you need to be prepared, like to leave your people behind.
Yeah.
Like
It's actually a cultural shock. The
yeah,
way people think here is completely different. Like even I remember some people in Mexico like told me, "Oh, like you live in Canada, so you're a millionaire." But for example, I make more money than an average like student in Mexico, but
yeah,
I also spent way more money like in rent, in food, like in gas and hydro, right? It's I'm making more money, but I'm also spending more money. So like what I'm saving is around the same. Depends if you're living with your parents, you can like make more money in Mexico, right?
yeah,
Um, but yeah, that's part of the cultural shock. So we wanted to touch on this. So Felipe, you were mentioning about you being alone, and we talked previously in the previous episode how it was hard for you to make food and to know where to
yeah,
eat or laundry and stuff, right? Like
yeah, yeah.
what other things were hard for you? Like mostly like culturally speaking.
Well, I think that because in Mexico we are so used to have very cheap food. Like here, everything is very expensive, but it's also very big. At least for me. Like I'm completely full for a whole day with a burger, or stuff like that, right? Like I can't handle two burgers in one day. I feel like a pig. Um, but yeah, like also I don't know. It's very weird. Like even I don't know, like how to say it. People here are kind of cold in a sense. Like in Mexico, you can make friends very easily. Here, when I got like to like my first 6 months here in Canada, the people in my program didn't speak to anyone, right? Like it was just a few people who used to speak to people, but it was a very quiet generation, right? And this went like 6 months, right? Until we got a strike. Like our teachers had a strike, so everyone went back home, right? Some people drop out of the program. Some people start talking to each other because what my university did was like it was open all the time. Like you could go, but you were not gonna have classes, right? So some of us used to go like to the labs just to get with the computers, learn a little bit more. So you start making friends there, right?
Yeah.
And that's how you make friends. But in Mexico, like it's very easy to make friends. Like we are very friendly, and here
Yeah.
it's a big difference.
Yeah. Oh, to me, something similar happened. Like I moved here. Well, like I finished my last year of high school here. So I came from. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see this. I came from this school called Tec de Monterrey, like Prepa Tech, like high school from that university. So my campus, wait, where is it? It's this one here. So this is the campus. There were two buildings for high school, and I think two or three for university. There was a parking lot, and then for university, and then if you were in high school, you could park at the um, we called it Disney. It's like football and soccer and basketball, tennis courts and everything, volleyball. So it was kind of like fancy. Let me see if I can find some pictures. But yeah, like it was big. We had like a gym, subway, two cafeterias. It was very big. So this is the entrance of high school, Prepa Tech. So yeah. And then I came back and I went to, let me see if I can find it. Again, if you're on YouTube, you can see this. Sir Wilfrid. Secondary School. Sir Wilfrid Laurier. Secondary School. Oops, typo. So it's a tiny building. It had like a park, like here. That's a park behind the school. But yeah, this is the school. It was very small. Like it was actually like very hard for me to adapt to the school. And then people wouldn't talk to me. Like a lot of people would see me and didn't really think I was an international student or anything, so they just would ignore me. And then I started talking to people and stuff. They're like, "Oh, you have an accent." Like I was like, "Yeah, I am not Canadian," right? So that was interesting. Like the few people who actually talked to me like that, and I speak to some of them like occasionally. Like they're not like my closest friends. I'm closer to my high school, like my college friends. Um, but yeah, adapting to school was different because the system where I was like very like liberal and like it was like university. Like nobody cared if you went to class or anything. So here in Canada, they do care and they will call your parents if you don't go to school. Like I remember like one of the first days I just didn't want to go to my earth and space science class, which because it was boring. So I was in the cab and then a teacher came and was like, do you have a spare like a free hour, like a spare? And I was like, no. And she's like, are you gonna go to class? I'm like, no. I'm gonna have to call your parents. I was like, I don't care. Like what? Yeah. Also, like in Mexico, we call our profs or our teachers by their name, like their first name. Like, so I remember my principal in Mexico. Her name was Sophia, so we always call her Sophia. So my first day here in Canada, I went to like the to see the guidance counselor. Like it's not the principal, like help students, like the tutor in Mexico would be like a tutor.
Yeah.
So I went to see the tutor, and I asked the secretary for the teacher's name, like their first name. And then she looks at me and you're like, starting the year on the wrong foot, eh? Like, what do you mean? It's like, Mr. I forgot his last name, will come see you, right? Like, you called the teacher's part their last name, and I didn't know that. And apparently I was being disrespectful, which I didn't mean to be, but
Yeah. Like, yeah, I think that our education system is way different. Like, at least in my school, like when I went to that school as well, like
Uh,
it
I
was,
I left before high school.
yeah, yeah. Um, it was very, how to say it, like conservative, or how to say it.
They were very conservative. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I remember in my school, like it was very conservative, as when
Hmm.
I can remember. He went there before high school. So for me, coming here and seeing like all the different types of teachers, like here they really don't care if you go to class, like not in the way that they used to in my other school, right?
Hmm.
Like here they kind of care, like, but it's up to you, you know, like it's also you're in university, right? Like you are grown up, like to decide with by your own. Yeah, like I think that that's the biggest cultural shock that I had in my at
Yeah.
school, you know,
At
like just
school.
the, but I
Yeah.
think that it happens in every university.
Yeah. Something that really like confused me is that when I moved with my dad and my stepmom and my siblings, my stepmom wanted me to work. And to me that was like, what? I'm going to school, right? Like um being like middle class in Mexico means that your parents are paying for everything and you just focus on
Yeah,
school. So to
yeah,
me,
yeah,
like going to work, it was like, I'm at school. Like, what do you mean? And like, I didn't get it. I thought that my stepmom was being like just rude, and
yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh, I don't want you to do nothing. I was like, I'm doing school, but like, like living here and like seeing people and how they grow and how the culture is, like, you realize that people start working around 16 or even earlier. They
yeah,
like babysit and start making money and money and money, and people working at the grocery store or um, at the mall. Like, to
yeah.
me that was
I
kind
found
of.
that like very, that's a very cultural thing. Like it's especially from South America and
Hmm.
Central America, because I have a friend. She lives in Reynosa, that it's like a border city,
Hmm.
and
In
she
Mexico.
oftenly goes to Brownsville, right? Like it's
Hmm.
in Texas, like literally in the border, and it's a very, I don't know, it's very weird because in Mexico and in all South America, we are like, you can tell anyone and they live with their parents until a very high age, right?
Hmm.
Like maybe 25,
Or
even
even
30.
30. Yeah,
Yeah.
30s.
But here in Canada, in all the North American parts, they leave their house very early. Like
Yeah.
that's why they want
College
to,
gone. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, that's why, like I think that it's that part of the culture. Like they train their people to,
Be
how to say it,
independent.
independent, yeah,
Yeah.
independence. And
Yeah.
I think that, I don't know if we need that in Mexico, because it has to, it's a double-edged thing,
Hmm.
you know, because it's good for the individual, like to be independent and
Yeah.
just go by his own. But at the same time, here in Canada, it's very normal to see old people living in, you know, the
Hmm.
complex
Yeah, yeah,
places
yeah.
and stuff like that. And in Mexico, that doesn't happen at all unless you're rich.
Hmm.
It's
Yeah.
very weird. Like
Like
I don't
grandparents
know
are
what
always
I
with the
prefer.
family, and yeah.
Yeah, like I don't know what I prefer, to leave my grandma living in a shitty place. Well, like I don't know if here they're shitty. You know, like I've
Like,
never been in one of those.
I don't know. I would like, it's a good
But it's
place for them
bad.
to socialize, because
Yeah.
I know a lot of like grandparents like are very isolated, especially right now with COVID. Like, they're very
Oh yeah.
isolated from the world. But I don't know. Like, I would like to be with my family instead of like other people. Like, I could go and hang out with them, have a coffee, like on Wednesdays or something.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
would like to
Like
see
in
my
Mexico, it's very
family.
normal.
Yeah,
Even like Sundays, it's for family. You know,
yeah,
like it's a very normal thing in Mexico. And
yeah.
I think that, I don't know if here in Canada it's the same thing. Like I haven't had contact too much with
For
Canadian
what
families.
I've seen from my partner's family, like, gathering is more like a special event, right? Oh,
Oh,
it's
like
Thanksgiving,
Christmas.
or
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, or Christmas, or like grandma's birthday. Whereas in Mexico is like, it's Sunday, let's go see
Yeah,
grandpa.
yeah, it's very weird. Like it's a double-edged thing. Like, do you want to be independent? I think that we should find a middle ground. Like even
Yeah,
Canadians and Mexican people, well, like
we
South
can
American
we can
people.
learn. Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't know. I feel like very sad to leave like your grandma in a just in
Mhm.
a place like you're not taking care of her.
Yeah, someone
Like for
else. You're
me,
just
that's
paying
like,
for it. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I don't want to only know about her when she dies, you know,
Hmm.
because that happens here and in the United States. It's very interesting because even in a border city that it's Reynosa,
Hmm.
they still have the difference, and you can see it. It's like
Yeah.
vinegar and water. Like you can
Yeah.
see the completely difference.
So even the borders, as I was saying, even the borders, like you can see this is the States and this is Mexico. Like it's a few meters, a few feet, sorry, apart. Um, and it's
Well,
still
like,
so different.
well, the thing is that all of those, all of that part of United States, it's like literally desert
Yeah.
and
But
like
but but
farms.
s- yeah, it could be. But like look, it's pretty much the same ecosystem.
Yeah, yeah, like you
That's
can
what I'm
see the complete
saying.
difference. Like even in
Yeah.
the average of death people per year, like I
Mm-hmm.
think that Brownsville and like all the little cities like right next to Reynosa, Tamaulipas, and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like they have like 5 deaths per year, and in Mexico it's four deaths per day. You know,
Oh,
like
that is
it's
very
a very
sad.
bad situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, another
Yeah.
cultural shock that I had it was like all the insecurity.
Oh
Like
yeah.
even like we used to live in a good place, you know, Rene. Like well, like you were in downtown, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
Well,
where I
between
used to
downtown
live,
and
it
yeah.
was like a very calm people, like
Mm-hmm.
a calm place, right?
Neighborhood.
Yeah, nothing used to happen there very often. But like even though my neighborhood was a good place, I was they robbed me 2 times, you know, like in one time they point me with a gun.
Mm-hmm.
And here it's like even when I came here, like my first year, I remember I went to Chinatown to get
Mm-hmm.
a phone case, and the guy that of the phone case wanted my cell phone like to measure the stuff, right?
Uh-huh.
And I didn't trust him. Like I was like, no, you're not taking my phone. And he was like a very nice guy, right? Like he was like, I just
Mm-hmm.
want to check it out. But it's like something that Mexico gives you
Yeah.
know, like that insecurity.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
it's very interesting to see that. Like,
Like I remember a few years ago, I went for Christmas. I went back to Mexico for Christmas, and I met my friend, well, our friend, who lives. I don't know where she's right now in Spain. I don't know. I don't know. Um, the thing is, we
yeah,
met in Mexico and we went to a restaurant, and then we were waiting for. I was waiting for her mom to pick her up outside the restaurant, and I asked her like, do you know when she's coming? Like your mom? And then she's like, I don't know. I'm afraid of checking my phone on the street, like because it's weird. Like for us who are not living in Mexico, it's normal to just grab your phone, like text someone, call someone, like on the
yeah,
bus,
yeah,
on the subway. But in Mexico, if you like, I'm not. I don't feel safe doing that. That's what I say. That's.
yeah. Like a good advantage, a perk of being here. Like if you're a parent and you want to send your kid here, it's that you don't need to be worrying about where he is.
Mhm.
You know that he's safe. Like that's what my dad is
Unless
always
unless
telling to
unless
me.
unless unless the kid goes and do something stupid, right?
Yeah, but it's very
But
weird.
you have to
I
actually be
mean,
willing to do something dumb.
yeah, yeah. Like it's not like in Canada there is no like
Crime or
bad
anything. Like,
people, and
yeah,
yeah, but compared like to the places that we come from,
yeah,
it's way different.
yeah.
Like yeah, like even one time I remember I was walking late at night. It was like 12 p.m. 12 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
And like for me it was late because it was like in the middle of the week, like it was in a Tuesday,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just walking back home, right? And I had never used to walk from my bus stop to my house because usually another bus passes for
Mm-hmm.
me, but that time like it was taking too long, so I just decided to walk, and I was very afraid. Like I was like, it's late and
Yeah.
I'm walking. Like in Mexico, around 9 p.m. it's already like
You're
dangerous.
like, don't leave. Yeah.
Yeah, but here like nothing happened, and I got scared because a guy like literally stopped like right next to me in his car, and I was like, oh my god, he's gonna kill me, like he's gonna kill me. So I started walking a little bit faster, and the guy was just checking his tire, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's something that it's sad to have, like
Yeah.
Mexico teaches you how to be afraid.
Mm.
Like in a sense, it's a good thing because you are always prepared for anything.
Yeah.
But I don't know, being afraid, it's not good. Like
Yeah.
that's what I've been telling all my friends from Mexico. Like whenever I go back there, like I have to tell them, right? Like I'm trying to convince them to come here because I know that they have the money to come here. Like they
Mm-hmm.
have the possibility. Because as I'm telling, it's not for everyone. Like if you can afford it, you should come, right?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously thinking about all the other stuff that I said previously.
Yeah.
But if you can, you should, because I don't know. As I see it, like South America, it's not good. Like it's not going good there.
Man, Mexico's in North America though.
Yeah, but it doesn't count.
Latin America.
Yeah, the ugly part of America.
No.
It's the beginning of the ugly part.
No. I don't know. Like it's the world, right? So the world is pretty. Like everywhere you go, you're gonna have like beautiful landscapes and even
Yeah, but
people
I
are
mean,
nice. Like when
yeah,
you
yeah,
when you're in the highway and you like stop to buy quesadillas, like quecas, like the ladies are very
yeah, yeah,
nice, like right? Like you that's what I say, like you have to be in a bad place, not
yeah.
necessarily at a bad time. And when you're in Mexico, right, you have to be just in a bad place, and bad things can happen to you. Whereas if you're in
Well,
Canada,
no, because what I usually tell to my friends, it's like in Mexico, like, and this is like it can be like very polarizing, right?
mm-hmm,
But as I see it, it's like if you are poor in Mexico, like you're gonna live in a shitty place, right? In a place where all the bad things happen.
mm-hmm,
But if you're rich, you become a target of those bad people.
yeah,
So even if you're making good, you're always afraid. And for me, that's not living. Like in Canada,
yeah,
you're good even like unless you're homeless people,
mm-hmm,
that they are usually like crack addicts.
crackheads,
Yeah, crackheads. Like you're gonna live good, you
yeah,
know?
and that's the thing. As I said, you make Canadian dollars and you're spending Canadian dollars,
Yeah.
but you have the comfort of going out and walking back home without being as afraid as in Mexico, right? Like there's a lower chance of you getting mugged or hurt or anything, right? You can take a bus and you will feel safer, right? Like the police, there's a lot of controversy, but at least the police aren't as corrupt as in Mexico, right? Like police would do bad things to you and will make you like it. I don't know. This is very controversial, but like I feel that police in Mexico just want money from whoever they can, so they will like bug you and like bother you until you give them money,
Yeah.
regardless of who you are, right? The,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's because of the pay gap, Like here in Canada, a police officer is gonna earn like enough to buy a house, to become a citizen, right? And
yeah,
in Mexico, a policeman, it's
makes
gonna
nothing.
be
Yeah,
paid like very shitty. He's gonna expose himself like to any thing that happens. So to compensate that, like they need to,
Yeah.
like you have to see both sizes, right? Both sides, right? Like in our case, we're seeing the shitty part where you get harassed and like they ask you for money. But like if you understand that maybe they are not winning enough for what they are doing, like it's shitty. And I don't know, here in Canada,
I mean,
policemen, they usually they're good. Like
um,
I can't complain
that's
about it.
debatable. Depends who
Yeah,
you are.
because they
That's the
also have
thing. A
like
lot of controversies, especially in
yeah,
Canada
like
with indigenous people and
but
mostly
that's everywhere.
people of
Like
color.
brutality, it's always like
Yeah.
I think that it's more like well, like it doesn't matter.
Well, I mean, it kind of matter, but
let's
we're
change.
not gonna talk about that. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. Like
Sorry,
we don't want
guys.
to go that way.
Yeah, it's very polarizing.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can leave your opinions about this topic in on YouTube if you want. Remember that we're always there, not only on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or what's it called, Amazon Music, I think. We're many places, so yeah. Give us your comment on Instagram. Check us on Instagram at ourpathca. It's like our path in Canada International. It's easier than the entire name, so our path ca everywhere. Patreon, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Um, so yeah, now we were talking about creating a section. We are gonna to ask the people who come to talk to us about their path, right? And that section, I think we should call it "How's the food?" Right? Like, what's your favorite food, Felipe, in Mexico? From Mexico?
Mexico, I think that well, like I'm gonna be like a stereotypical guy, but obviously tacos.
Taquitos.
Yeah, like for me, I don't know, like I have a favorite type of tacos that are like the borrego viudo, the widowed sheep.
Sheep. Yeah.
Yeah, they're very good. Like they're the most famous tacos in Mexico City. Like they've been
Pastor,
open,
I'd say.
yeah, from Pastor. But yeah,
Yeah.
like it
Al pastor
it's a
tacos.
taqueria, a taco place that has been open for years, like for a long time, and it's 24 hours, so they never stop, right? And that's something very nice. And I don't know, their tacos, they man, like
Yeah.
they
Now, yeah,
they
yeah,
just make me so happy, man.
yeah.
What
Why?
about you?
Me, I'd say I'm between pastor, like tacos al pastor, pastor tacos, or enchiladas suizas, because it has like the melted
Oh yeah,
cheese.
I remember that those were your favorite
Those
when we were
are
kids.
everywhere where I go. I would get those if it's not like a taqueria, of course. Um, yeah, I really like that. So enchiladas is like, let me see if I can find like, because Americans
Yeah,
have their
we
own
should put some
versions.
images of them because our Canadian
Yeah,
friends, they might not know how a taco looks,
they
like a
think
real
tacos
taco.
are like, okay, so these are enchiladas. If you're on YouTube, you can see what they are. So enchiladas are like tacos, like chicken tacos, wrapped like in a little bit deep fried, not super crunchy, but then they're covered with sauce. So my favorite are suizas, which are like mostly green. Like I would say some should be red because the flag from Switzerland is red and white. But the green ones are my favorite. And then they have the cheese that is melted, like it's broiled. So I love them with like cream. We don't have sour cream in Mexico. It's just cream, so it tastes different. So these are suizas, and these are like regular, like green enchiladas. Um. So yeah, and then tacos, pastor. So I didn't know what pastor was. Now I know it's pork. I always thought it was German Shepherd, like pastor alemán. So my mom would tell me, yeah, they're like dog tacos. I was like, ew. So this is like pastor. Usually you have pineapple on it. It's the meat, and it's marinated into like a weird sauce. It's really good. And then pineapple, onion, and cilantro, and that's it. It's so good. and they're like very small, like very, very, very small. Um, but yeah,
But they're cheap.
they're so good. Like you can have like 10 in one sitting.
Oh, I think that those tacos are from Borrego Beauty.
These ones,
Is it? Yeah.
maybe. Simon.
Like I can recognize them, you know?
Yeah, I can smell them.
Yeah, like a big difference between Canadian food and Mexican food. It's that in Mexico, like we have a lot of taquerias, right?
Hmm.
But every taqueria has its own
It's
thing.
special thingy, yeah. Like or the
Yeah.
sauce or the way they marinate the pastor,
Yeah.
or yeah, it's
Yeah, and it
so hungry now.
like something that it's very interesting about taquerias, it's that it unifies even
Yeah,
like economical classes. Like you can have poor people in a taqueria and rich people in the same taqueria
eating
if
together, drinking the
it's a
same
good
beer.
taqueria.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And that's something that here in Canada you don't see often. Like because here most of the places are franchises
Hmm.
and you don't have like a very well, like you only have poutine, right? Like there is only poutine, or what else?
Like 100% Canadian.
Yeah,
I think poutine is the most famous thing. I don't really know what else, to be honest.
yeah, that's
Okay, okay.
if you're Canadian, leave us a comment.
Yeah, tell us what you like
Yeah,
Canadian food.
another dish, a
Like
traditional dish
100%
that we have.
Canadian. Yeah.
Yeah, but also like I don't know, I like here I've heard like some people talking about like which one is like the best poutine,
Hmm.
but it's like between McDonald's, Burger King, like franchises, right?
Poutinerie, yeah. Smoked
Yeah, like
poutinerie.
it loses its. I don't know. I feel that in Mexico because it can be like a very random place.
Yeah.
It's like very fun.
Like Borrego Viudo or like something like on the highway. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Like for me, if the place is dirtier, it's better.
The dirtier it gets, the better it is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Now let's keep going with the question. So, how's the food, right? So your favorite food were the tacos from El Borrego Viudo. Now,
Yeah.
what's your favorite food in Canada? Like,
Mm. Chicken and waffles.
really?
Yeah, with maple syrup.
Maple syrup. They have to be Canadian.
Yeah,
Like to
but man,
me,
like those are
yeah,
very good.
yeah. To me, I'm not sure. I really like. Okay, you're gonna look at me weird, and a lot of people are gonna look at me weird. But I think one of my favorite restaurants, at least in Ottawa, it's called Pure Kitchen, and it's like all vegetarian, like vegan food, but it's just so good. I know. Like they have burgers, but they taste like really good burgers, and like it's really really good.
Man, if my burger didn't move in a point of its life, I don't want it.
I mean,
Like, I've never tried a vegan
so
burger.
it's very hard because like a lot of them are very bad, like very very bad. But those taste like meat, like actual meat, and they're like mushroom based patties, which is really weird.
Well, like mushroom goes good like with chicken. Like I've tried mushroom. Like if you know how to season it, it tastes very good.
I love mushrooms.
Yeah, yeah. Like I don't know. When I tried vegan food, I don't know. Like you need to be very good to make good vegan food. You know?
Yeah, like a lot of people think of tofu and they're like, "Ooh, that's gross," but it's because people don't really know how to use it. Well, you can make a lot of good things with tofu. You just have to like season it and prepare it, and it takes a while. It could take up to like a week just to prepare the tofu, which is very annoying. Whereas,
And I
yeah,
prefer something from McDonald's, man. Like
I know. Like, whereas like if you buy like chicken breast or something, you can like leave them sitting for like an hour or two. You freeze them and then bloop, cook it, season it, bloop, eat it. Easy, right?
and
Like I get that. I get that.
like I recently saw a documentary about crickets and
Oh,
how good they are for food. Like
I
for those
know.
who don't know me, like people that know me already, like they
hates
know that I'm
crickets.
completely afraid of crickets. Like I
So
hate
funny.
crickets. I can't see them. I'm very afraid of them. So it pop out in my YouTube recommendations, right? It was like, oh, cricket powder, and I was like, someone is starting to exterminate them. So I was very happy, right? So I check it out, right? And no, it
That's a
was a farm
farm.
of
They
crickets.
grow them and they feed
Yeah, like
them.
they
Yeah.
had a whole bodega. How do you say
Warehouse.
that? A whole
Warehouse.
warehouse full of like buckets and buckets of crickets,
Yeah.
and they make them into cookies. Like
Mhm.
first they make them powder, and then they make them into cookies.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, I I don't know, man. Like I don't know how I feel about it. Like it's a very good thing, you know. Like it has a lot of protein. It's very healthy. It's good for the environment and everything.
Yeah.
No, no, man. Like no,
Sorry.
no,
Sorry.
no, no, man. Like
Um,
I don't know. I don't know how to feel about people collecting that many crickets.
like
Like
I don't know. Like in Mexico, people eat crickets and some
yeah, I've tried
bugs
them.
and
I've
worms.
tried them, and they're very salty. Like it's almost like
Like
eating
you.
salt, right?
Hmm.
But I don't know, man. Like
I've never tried them. Even that makes me like want to puke. Like I feel weird.
really, you've never
Yeah.
tried them before?
No. No
Not even like
chapulines?
the small ones.
No.
So I tried the small ones. One time I tried the big ones, and it was gross. But the super tiny ones, it's like eating salt. And obviously, you don't like how I tried them. It wasn't like just like grabbing the cricket and eating it, right?
Hmm.
No. Like it's fried and everything.
Yeah. Because I know people who eat gusanos de maguey, which is like maguey worm. Maguey is the plant where tequila comes from, right? And they eat them alive, pretty much. Some people like cook them, and some eat them raw. And
Yeah, no, that's too much for me. Like,
yeah,
well, like
and that's in Mexico. And I just
yeah,
look
like if it's cooked,
tacos.
I think that it's fine, you know.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this.
Unless it's squishy, you know, unless it has like surprise.
Yeah. So this is the maguey, the plant. I don't know how people would eat that. Oh,
I don't know. I feel that I want to try those.
you're
Like I wouldn't
so
mind.
weird.
But I don't know with crickets. Like when people ask me why do I hate crickets, like they are surprised, right? Because they are not venomous and stuff like that. But
Mhm.
the fact that they jump, that just kills me. Like, and another cultural shock that I had here in Canada is that they also fly. Like
Like
they
what?
look like they fly.
Crickets? Crickets?
Yeah, crickets. Well, like they're
Cultural
aggressive.
shock? Oh.
Well, not cultural shock. Well, like kind of because they only fly here in Canada. In Mexico, they don't fly. Like I hate that. Like, why did they make them more? They gave them another power.
Ew.
It's not fair, man.
It is. Well, so we covered a little bit about moving to Canada, cultural shock. Also, you need to consider when you move to Canada, during the winter, it's gonna get really cold. Like I've seen people complaining about going to the States, like I don't know, to New York and whatever, like, oh my god, it's -1 degree, I'm gonna die. I don't know how Toronto is, but Ottawa, the coldest that I remember is -45 degrees. That I remember. I lived.
Yeah, for me it was -35.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So
like
-1, like literally, winter starts and then you get used to like -20, -30, and then the spring when it started to be like -5, 1 degree, something like that, you're like you don't want to wear a jacket. You just want to like get naked and like walk around the city because it's so warm.
yeah,
But
like at least here in Toronto, it's very cold. It's like polar. Like you go from like in winter, it's very cold,
Mhm.
but in summer it goes like very
Oh
hot.
yeah. Same here.
Like even
Like up
hotter
to
than Mexico
35.
City.
Yeah. And Ottawa was super humid, so you're all sweaty all the time, and it's so ugly. That's the thing I like. But what I was saying, why I was talking about winter is because sun sets around 5 p.m.
Yeah.
and it rises around 8. So if you go to work, if you work at 9, from 9 to 5, you're never gonna see the sunlight, and it can get really depressing. It's like the name of the condition. It's called sad, because what's it called? Like I don't remember what it stands for, but yeah. So you just get very 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 depressed. Seasonal affective disorder. So
Did you
you like
got
get,
that?
huh?
Did you ever got that?
Yeah, yeah. It's very tough because you don't you just it's all darkness, right? Like all everywhere you look is darkness, like literally. And then it just gets like, oh, I'm going home. Oh, I woke up. Oh, like, oh, it's very monotone, and you need to hang out with people. You need to be active and like be doing stuff, keeping yourself busy. If not, it's gonna get you very very depressed. So you have to consider that. You need to be like very strong emotionally, because like I know we had a teacher, Miss Luigi. ¿Te acuerdas? You remember Felipe?
Oh yeah.
She told me she lived in Canada, but she moved back because it was very hard. She was really lonely and very depressed, especially during the winters. So yeah, you need to be really strong, and you need like connections, like human connections, like friends, and you know. So you need to
Yeah,
like take that into account. I think that's one of the toughest part of moving to Canada.
yeah. I think that even one friend that came with me. I don't know if I mentioned her like in the last episode.
I think
Like
so.
she came.
Yeah.
Yeah, she came here. Like we came at the same time, right? And she didn't stay here. And I think that was part of the. I don't know if it was part of her decision, but like I don't know. I feel that just being so lonely for 6 months,
Mhm.
because you gotta remember that you are leaving behind your friends, right?
Mhm.
Like your best friends, your
And your
family, stuff
family
like
and
that.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're not ready for that, like I think that it can be a very important factor for you to go back. Like my friend went back after, like she didn't finish the strike. Like
I
she
mean, she
was one
she
of the
wasn't part of
people.
the strike. She just dropped out during the strike before it
Yeah,
ended.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because during the strike we didn't know when it was going to end,
Hmm.
and it was, I think that it was 2 months or 3 months. The
It was
strike.
5 weeks. Yeah, a month and a week. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, like she felt like very sad, very depressed.
Yeah.
So she went back like to Mexico. Also,
Okay.
like it was also fault of the college
Hmm.
because they didn't give her anything to do. Like they couldn't because they were at a strike.
Yeah.
But yeah, like at least for me, there was a teacher who lost his job because of that. Like
Hmm.
he sent us things to
Work.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you just keep yourself busy, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna end up this episode. I don't want it to end up very sad. So I just wanna I just wanna tell you that next episode we're gonna have one of my friends who helped us with all the visuals and the logo and the album art and everything that you've seen. We're gonna have him over. He's from India. His name is Shreyas Puthran. I don't really know how to pronounce it, because he has been trying to teach me Hindi, so that I'm gonna let him explain that and how that went. Um, but yeah, so Shreyas, my friend, Felipe already knows him. We had some meetings talking about the podcast and how he can help us. So I think he's a good candidate for a first guest. So if you would like to know about a graphic designer and how he is doing in Canada, then you should probably subscribe, save the podcast, download it, share with your friends. Rate us on Apple Podcast because you can rate us there, 5 stars and a comment. Or if you don't feel like 5 stars, like maybe something less, but I don't know why you wouldn't. Like, we're so cool. So yeah, I think this is everything for today. Do you have anything to say, Felipe?
No, just have a good day. Bye bye.
Bye.